is it from the patient's point of view? If I'm an observation patient, I've been criminally charged and I've been admitted for observation, what does my day look like? Is it the same day for 30 days? What is the kind of schedule or routine that I follow?
Okay. The routine is the same because it doesn't change because you are an observation patient. You will start in the morning, go and bath. You will come back, have your breakfast. The doctors will come at 8 or 9, and then they will continue doing the observations with you. And then after that, they will leave, and then the other shift will come in the afternoon, and they'll continue go and sleep again. The routine doesn't say, because you are an observation patient, we're treating you differently from the others.
But in some ways, it must be different. Because there's police guard and, I don't know, in what ways is it different?
Well, I would say the only way in which we can say it's different from the other patients is because these guys, some of them are regarded as high criminals. So in that case, you can't take chances and give them everything like any other patient that you'll trust. So maybe in those areas of safety, you will try to be more cautious. Because some of them you might end up just locking them in a room for the day, just to say, because today your behavior has changed and you are a danger to yourself and other patients, we will then put you in a little and then lock it until he comes back to his senses, and then we'll take him out.
And what ward are we in currently?
So this is a state patient ward. So these are patients who we have recommended come back to us following a mental observation. And they haven't been convicted because they've been found either not fit or not responsible for the crime.
So on that, does a psychiatric assessment, an observation of an accused person, guarantee that they're not going to be held liable for their actions?
No, not at all. So the whole point of the psychiatric observation is to decide whether someone is not responsible or not and not fit. So there are two components to the mental observation. Under Section 77 of the Criminal Procedure Act, we have to decide on whether someone is fit to stand trial, and that then speaks to the mental state at the time of assessment and going to trial now. And under Section 78 of the Criminal Procedure Act, we decide on the accused's responsibility for the crime, and that then speaks to the accused's ability to understand the wrongfulness of the act at the time of commission and the ability to act in accordance with that. So those speak to two very different time periods. And simply claiming to be mentally ill does not automatically mean that you will come back to us.
And you mentioned that a previous sort of diagnosis of mental health is also scrutinized during this 30-day observations period. How?
Yes. So we get information from the accused himself, information from previous treating doctors or hospital records, and we put that together with family accounts and other witness accounts, and then try to create a picture of what the mental illness has been like, if there has been one, and then correlate that with what we are seeing during the time of observation.
To start off with, we're really trying to understand if the observation process in a psychiatric unit is about answering the question, what goes on in the mind of an alleged child rapist?
Yeah. When someone's referred for observation at a place like Sterkfontein or Weskoppies or Valkenburg, the sole goal of that observation referral is to determine two possible things. The time of the crime. Were they experiencing something that affected their ability to determine right from wrong and act in accordance with that determination? And the second thing that they're looking at, so that's the then and there at the time of the crime aspect. The second thing they're looking for, which might not be part of the referral depending on the circumstances, is here and now. Is this person able to contribute to their legal defense, speak to their lawyers, and are they mentally capable of being put on trial? So the then and there is the one aspect, and then the here and now is the other aspect. So, for example, you might find someone at the time of the crime is hearing voices that told them to go and stab someone. That would relate to that first aspect. Or you might find that someone is completely sane during the time of the incident, but now, a year or two later, they're about to be put on trial and they're exhibiting mental health problems, mental health issues. They're talking to themselves, they're hearing voices. The big difference would be that if at the time of the crime, when someone committed the incident, was acting upon voices that commanded them to do it, the trial would stop. They would never be found guilty, but they would be sent to a psychiatric facility for an indeterminate period for treatment. But the trial never continues. But let's say the person was sane at the time of the incident and now is experiencing mental health issues, hearing voices. They would then also be sent back to the hospital for treatment, but when they are back to normal, when the symptoms are under control, they would actually have to go back on trial.
I think in this particular case of Nicholas Ninow, which was in news this week, many members of the public feel a sense of outrage that someone facing allegations of child rape, assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm, and drug possession is now getting to go to a hospital, which may sound like quite a comfortable place. Is that a fair sort of presumption about the process that he will go through for the next month?
Yeah. So the observation period is usually 30 days. It can be extended if necessary, but it's typically going to be a 30-day period. And it's not a holiday camp. This person's not going to be getting special treatment. They're not going to be getting psychotherapy, etc. They are purely there for the observation purposes. And it's usually quite boring for them because they'll be hanging around not doing much unless they are currently being assessed by one of the multiple people on the team, which could be the nursing staff, the psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, and possibly even occupational therapists. And they all contribute information that is going to be used to make that determination. So it's a very brief period of time that he's going to be there.